Hi, I'm Railtho, and welcome to Ray's Luxury Autos. Now, we've got sports cars, luxury cars, and supercars. We're selling these cars at such a reasonable rate, we're practically giving them away. Come on down to Ray's Luxury Autos at 153 Tingle Street. That's 153 Tingle Street. Welcome. My name's Railtho, and welcome to Ray's Luxury Autos. I will be helping you today. Now, what kind of car were you looking for? Were you looking for a sports car, a luxury car, or a muscle car even? Yeah? Oh, you just got a lot of money recently. I see. Well, I can certainly help you decide on a car if you would like, and I can show you the ins and outs of the different vehicles and tell you some details about them. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, follow me just this way. So, this here is the Audi R8. This is specifically the 2020 model. Now, note that this version has these little lines right here in the front of the grille, so it's quite a bit different from the older version. It also has these three little dashes here, right there at the top, and of course it's got the Audi logo, which all of them do. We even got like a 2007 model right here as well. But yeah, as far as the outside features go, not much different from the older ones. But it does have like a new front grille and back to it that looks quite nice, and they kind of update it in that way. So another thing to note is that the color scheme is red 40. And if you come a little closer, I'll show you the insides, and I'll talk a little bit about the details from there. Alright, so this is the inside of the Audi R8. You can see that it has this nice leather interior with the red and black motif. We've got the steering wheel here. Looks very sports carsy, you know. Right here we have our start engine, which you'll see on a lot of supercars and this kind of nature. It's just kind of like an in-between of a supercar and a sports car. Over here we have a button that has a checkered flag on it, which controls different types of performance modes. So it will be, you can change it from wet roads to dry roads to normal mode or snowy, excuse me. I think it normally is on normal mode. So that's another thing that you'll notice here. The wheel, of course, has leather lining across the wheel. It's got very nice ergonomics. It's even got like a, like I said before, it's got like a race carsy bit where it's kind of square at the bottom. Do note that we also have a screen right here instead of actual speedometers, and that's because the speedometers are displayed on this really cool screen here. Now the screen has a bunch of customization options. You can make the screen the navigational screen however big you want. You can set it off to the side. You can make it encompass the entire screen, and at all times your speedometer is displayed right there on the left side and on the right side, of course. It's also got your gas here, your radio will be through here, and your general car settings will be through here as well. As far as the other setups go for the car, it's pretty standard for what you would see in most modern cars. What you will see with the other cars that I'll be showing you, the settings are a bit different. Another thing that's very notable about this is that you can kind of tell that there's air vents right here. There's only right here pointed towards the driver. There is one to your right embedded into the door, kind of like there's one right here. But it's got a very like driver focused kind of centrist kind of design. We got our cup holders right here. You would lift the lid up from the cup holder, and that's where you put your drinks at. We got a CD player right here, and if you really wanted to, you could fold down one of these chairs and put a baby seat in place of it. Now, as far as the engine goes, this bad boy is rocking a 2.5 liter V10 engine, and you'll notice that it's actually in the back of the car, and it's got like a little a window to display it, and now that window can actually lift up, kind of like a boot on a car. But because the engine is in the back of the car, you guessed it, the boot is actually in the front of the car. So yeah, and you know, for climate controls, we got really basic stuff. It's not too complicated, you know. As they say in the military, from one of my military friends say, keep it simple, stupid. So there's only 3 options for climate control here. You can change the fan speed, the temperature, and you can change if it's going through your feet or on the windshield, and that's it. They're just buttons and knobs. It's very straightforward, very simple. Alright? And of course, I'll let you hear how it sounds. Just shift back and forth on the seat because I think the synthetic leather sounds quite nice. So, you know, like that. Of course, we'll tap on the wheels here. Also quite like the sound of the dashboard too. I don't know if you would call this stimming, but whenever I get in a car, for whatever reason, I like to play with the vents here. I like to flip them back and forth, you know, just flip them, just like that. I'll play with the knobs too. We also have, I forgot to mention, we also have a knob for the volume control down here, and you can kind of, you know, shift it back and forth like that. So, you know. Alright, well, let's go on to the next car. This is our Porsche 911 881 in platinum white. So noticeable features on this. The front part of the car is quite a bit different from older versions. So we actually have one from 1987 off to the right side of it, you know, as you can see right there, and some you know, the body model of it is quite different from earlier versions, especially ones that are really old, like this gem over here. And if you come over here and take a look of the inside of the car with me, we can go over the features in there. Alright, so the first thing you'll immediately notice with this car is that it's got like a all leather interior. It's on the dashboard, it's on the top of the speedometer. There's even like a fancy clock here that tells you time. It's like an analog clock. really cool stuff. We've got our navigational screen right here in the middle. Got your controls here. Pretty standard stuff. This Porsche has paddles on it, which allows you to change what kind of gauge you're at. So you can shift gears through that, or you can use this one down here if you want to. We got some details right here that tell you all kinds of details about the pressure of the wheels, the fuel, the speedometer, and everything like that. Of course, on this screen, there are some buttons where you can change to where you can go to sport mode, super sports mode, normal, and individual. Those are the different driving performance modes. Now, this car is quite specifically is very popular amongst rich British people, rich famous British people as well, or British folks, I should say. It's just quite a nice, luxurious car. It's not quite a supercar, but it is a luxury car. It also has 2 back seats. So this car in total has 4 seats. So, if you want to pick up your homies and spend some time with them, you can certainly do that. What else? There's some other details. I forgot to mention, obviously, the premium leather interior. Very quite nice. It's also got some quite nice sounds to them. It's got a turbocharged flat cylinder. It has a adjustable spoiler in the back, so you could make it look more like a race car if you wanted to, or you can make it more classy. It has a height adjustment on the front end, so you can adjust the exhaust, you can adjust the suspension, you can also change the drive mode for wet, normal, sport, sport plus, and individual. And this car can go up to 200 miles per hour. I forgot to mention, with the Audi R8, it can go up to 205 miles per hour. It has a automatic transmission, an all-wheel drive, 14 to 25 miles per gallon, with it goes to 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. Forgot to mention about that with the Audi R8. Here with this Porsche, it, like I said, 200 miles per hour. It gets about 18 miles per gallon, which isn't bad. That's this Porsche. Very nice, luxurious car if you want to show off, of course. And of course, I'll make the sounds for this too. Press the buttons. Just tap on the car, tap on the dashboard. Clicky button. Very clicky buttons. Alright, let's go on to the next car. Now this is the Ferrari 488 GTB in electric blue. Now the thing is that a lot of people, they will choose this as their first supercar, very nice choice. It's very stunning. It's painted in this very nice electric blue color. It's just very, very appealing car. It's got like this nice looking I don't know if this is weird, but I think it kind of looks like a cheetah almost, with this like little facial expression, I suppose, for lack of a better term. But yeah, so that's what the outside of the car looks like. Very nice Ferrari, very excellent first Ferrari that you could get. Now let's go inside the car. Now the interior with this is quite nice. You can even see right here it says 488 GTB, in case you ever forget what kind of car you're driving, So to go over the other controls here, we've got the wheel here, and this is where it can get very confusing for certain drivers. But once you learn how to use this beast of a machine, it's quite easy to figure out. It's not too difficult, right? So, first things first, you got your settings here. The settings will dictate what if you're driving on wet, dry, bumpy roads, things like that. There's also CT off and ESC off. Now, if you notice, when you flip through these, they're color coded from like green down to yellow, orange, and red. That's to indicate how difficult it is to drive on that particular setting. So if you think of this like a difficulty slider, the red is something you really don't want to do unless you're really experienced with this car. Okay, so we of course got paddles here that change the gears. You can shift gears with that, so obviously there's no gear shifting stick down here. We've got a little compartment down here for just your belongings, your phone, whatever. We've got buttons for forward, reverse, and parking. Although Ferrari doesn't want you to put the car in manual when you're parking it, which is kind of funny enough. But yeah, I mean, you put it in one of the gauges and you park it, and you would put it in, or is it manual or neutral? I have to double check on that. But anyway, so to go over the other settings, you'll notice that there aren't really any buttons on the door here, and that's because the lock doors buttons is up here, along with your lights, your headlights for the front of the car, and things like that. So the other thing is that it has this on-screen display here that shows you all the important stuff, like the speedometer, your navigational GPS will be on here as well. Show your gas, your mileage, everything like that. All the important details. You can also flip through the radio through there, and like in many of the other expensive cars that we went through, and you can kind of browse through the radio through that way. Obviously you got your climate controls. You can notice that the air vents are kind of angled in such a way to where air only comes out that way, even on your side over to the right. So yeah, that's another thing to take the note. Some other things to note is that this car is quite fast. It's 205 miles per hour. I think it goes to 0 to 60 in about like 2.5 seconds, I believe. Could be wrong on that, but yeah, quite fast car, quite a really nice supercar, very nice entry-level supercars at that as well. You can also adjust the exhaust on here so that you don't piss off your local police with noise pollution laws, so you can make it quieter, you can make it louder if you really wanted to. And of course, we got the nice engine in the back here, and you can actually see it through a little window here. You can see the back of it, and yeah, it's just quite nice. And obviously, of course, as with the others, the boot is in the front of the car, you know? So, yeah, that's this car. Very nice car. Got this fantastic foam interior with, I believe this might be rubber or some other kind of synthetic material, of course. As with the others, I will tap on it as well. I quite like the color scheme here because it almost matches up with my fur. I believe the mileage or the miles per gallon is about 16 to 22, depending if you're in a city or on the highway. Alright, let's go and check out the next car. Now, this is the Lamborghini LP 640 in electric purple and electric green. Very nice looking Lamborghini. Very nice entry-level Lamborghini as well. Got this iconic Lamborghini logo down here. Got this green accent at the bottom here that you can see. I'll go ahead and back you up just a little bit so you can see. There you go. And just a very lovely car. This almost kind of looks like a Joker kind of theming here, but I think that's unintentional. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look in this nice car. Alright, come on. Now this Lamborghini is very, very nice. We got this felt covering top on here, on the dashboard. That's gray and green. Again, with the electric green accents here. Leather chairs. With these nice bucket racing chairs where it kind of supports your shoulders and your head, of course. So when you're whipping around corners, you're not going to bang your head against the door, you know. It's going to keep your head in place, you know. So that's great. You've got standard controls here. Again, we've got paddles here, very similar to the Ferrari in that sense. So you switch your gauges that way. You got your media control here, so you can change your volumes for the radio. Got climate control here as well. All these nice little things here. Also, similarly to the Audi R8, we got a digital screen here that shows the speedometer along with a navigational map and radio and stuff. So you can change your driving style in this one, like with the others. Wet, dry, bumpy conditions, things like that. And, it's just a very cool looking car. This is definitely like a badass type of car that you would drive. That's what it really screams. Very simple controls here. It looks very complicated at first, but it can be quite easy once you learn it. Now, another thing to note is that it's got the Lamborghini logo, name right here, just so if you forget what kind of car you're driving. It's also got these hexagonal kind of shapes here. Same thing with the air control, or the vents on here as well. Now, other things to note about the Lamborghini here, the LP 460 or 640, excuse me, is that it has clutch paddles for switching your gears. I know we went over that, but it also this thing goes quite fast, like the other cars. I believe it's somewhere in the range of like 200 plus. I think it's around 205 miles per hour, like the other cars. Very great mileage for it too. And this thing, you know, as with the other ones, it's got a nice sounding engine. You know, it really goes like, you know, like, you know, you can like just go down. It also has like an exhaust control in this, so you can dampen the sounds if you want. And, you know, we will tap on the chairs here. It's also got a glass window to the engine in the back that can also lift up as well. Flipping through the vents, clicking the paddles here. Pressing the buttons. Very clicky buttons. Very clicky buttons. Alright, well, that's the Lamborghini. You can take a look around and come back to me. You know, make your take a while, make your final decision. I'm in no rush, you know. So, yeah, just let me know, and I'll meet you back in the office. Right? Okay.